After that, they played a rematch of the Hell type, an arena surrounded by fire, and the gladiator who was touched by the fire was defeated. The Undertaker won again after setting fire to his brother Kane's hand. In a third match, the winner of which plays for the Federation belt, Mankind intervened in favor of Kane. And The Undertaker lost the match. A Hell in the Cage match was made between them. And this match is considered one of the strongest and fiercest matches in the history of the World Wrestling Federation after the fall of Mankind from a height of 16 feet to fall on the comment table to win the match. After that, The Undertaker and Stone Cold played as a team and beat Kane and Mankind and got his Union belts for the doubles, but there was no friendship between The Undertaker and Stone Cold. 2 weeks later they lost their doubles belts to Kane and Mankind. The Undertaker entered to play for the Union belt, which was in his possession by Stone Cold. The Undertaker did not win the match. He played a three-way match on the belt after that, and the third was Kane. The two installed Stone Cold. The belt was withdrawn and a match between Undertaker and Kane was on the belt. And the referee was Stone Cold, and Stone Cold hit the two are thrown out of the ring to announce that there is no winner. 2 days later, The Undertaker turned into an evil character and cooperated with his old manager Paul Bearer to create a team of darkness that would sweep anyone in front of her. In January 1999, The Undertaker returned and was ready to form Team Darkness, partnering with the Enterprise team led by Shane McMahon at the time. The Undertaker played against Austin in a match for the Federation belt and won the title for the third time in his history after his assistant from Shane McMahon. But he lost it after a while against Austin. His relationship with Shane and his father, Vince McMahon, worsened, and the team was eventually dissolved. And The Undertaker returned to playing on his doubles belts, and his friend during this period was The Big Show. But after a while, he was injured and told Vince McMahon that he had quit wrestling and would never come back. But McMahon pressed The Undertaker and announced that he would return to WrestleMania in 2000. But the injury remained for a longer period and The Undertaker did not return at this time. The American Bad Assay and Big Evil, 2000 to 2003, at Judgment Day 2000. The Undertaker came back with a new character, so he rode a motorcycle, wore jeans and a long black jumpsuit, and got a little plump. The Undertaker assisted The Rock against Triple H and his team and hit H and made the Tombstone, and Shawn Michaels was the referee, so he cancelled the match. The Undertaker played with The Rock and Kane against Triple H and the McMahon family, and The Undertaker and his team won the match. The Undertaker and Kane played as a team and took the team crown belts from Edge and Christian, but lost it again after Kane betrayed The Undertaker. A match was held between them and ended without a winner after The Undertaker took off Kane's mask and Kane escaped outside the ring. After a period of matches, The Undertaker reconciled with Kane to announce Odder Brothers of Destruction, and indeed they played for the Tim Crown belts and won it. The Undertaker played a match against Triple H at WrestleMania and The Undertaker won. The Undertaker and his brother Kane feuded against Triple H and Stone Cold. But they lost the match after Kane was injured and The Undertaker played a match against Stone Cold for the Federation belt. But lost it. The Undertaker and Kane played against Dallas and Chris Kanyon and won their doubles belts in the WCW after joining them to become the first team to win the World Wrestling Federation and WCW belts together. After a while, The Rock feuded with The Undertaker and The Undertaker lost the match after Ric Flair entered and The Undertaker hit him and asked for a match between them. And the match took place and The Undertaker won at the Festival of Dreams. He then beat Stone Cold to get the opportunity to play for the belt and actually played for the belt. As for the Federation champion at the time, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker managed to beat Hogan to win the belt for the fourth time in his history. He then defeated Jeff Hardy in a ladder match, which was a great match between the two, but lost the belt in a three-way match to The Rock. The Undertaker then moved from Raw to SmackDown. There he found a monster, Brock Lesnar. And The Undertaker feuded with Brock Lesnar, and the first match between them ended without a winner. The Undertaker played the second match in the cage and was playing Undertaker with a broken arm and lost the match. The Undertaker was injured after that and missed for a while. The Undertaker returned to the Royal Rumble match, but lost the match after being thrown over the ropes by Brock Lesnar to win the match. The Undertaker played against The Big Show and beat it. Then beat it again at the Dream Festival. The Undertaker competed for the Federation belt after that, and in a match against Lesnar. Lesnar won with the help of Vince McMahon, president of the association. A feud begins between McMahon and The Undertaker, and they have a "Burial Alive" match between them. The Undertaker lost the match after Kane entered and threw him into the hole and put sand on him. The Undertaker will miss a while. The return of the Dead Man and his feud with Randy Orton, 2004-2005. He returned with his old character, Dead Man, with Paul Bearer and The Undertaker defeated Kane in 8 minutes. He played against the Daddies and Paul Bearer was suspended in cement. After winning the match, The Undertaker drew cement on Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer was scheduled to return, but he was injured and his health worsened, so he did not return to the Union. The Undertaker tried to reach the Federation belt and actually entered into a feud with Brad Shaw, the champion of the Federation, but The Undertaker lost the matches after several betrayals by several wrestlers who were working with Brad Shaw. After a while, Randy Orton asked The Undertaker for a match at the Dream Festival. The Undertaker agreed to the match and also won it after the work of the Tombstone in Orton. And the series of enmity between them continued, and they met again in SummerSlam. But The Undertaker lost the match after being assisted by Bob Orton, Randy Orton's father. The Undertaker did not calm down and won one of the SmackDown matches against Orton, and Orton asked for a match at the Now Mercy Festival. Indeed, a coffin match was held, and The Undertaker was against Randy and Bob Orton. Randy J. Orton and his father won and threw The Undertaker into the coffin and set it on fire to announce that The Undertaker was finished and would never return to the league. But The Undertaker returned and played with Orton a Hell in a Cage match and beat Orton and eliminated him in the match. Return of the Brothers of Destruction, 2006-2007. The Undertaker played the then United States champion Ken Kennedy at No Mercy 06, but the match ended in DQ after The Undertaker hit Kennedy with the belt, on 3 November on SmackDown. The Undertaker united with Kane and reformed the Brothers of Destruction teams for the first time in 5 years, and played against Ken Kennedy and our MVP with whom Kane was feuding at the time. Kennedy defeated The Undertaker at Survivor Series in a First Blood match. After the MVP interfered, The Undertaker finally defeated Mr. Kennedy in a last ride match at Armageddon 06 after making a move shock slam and tombstone over the top of the car over Kennedy and got him into the car. The two continued to feud until 2007 when Kennedy cost The Undertaker 2 matches for the top seed title. And they carried The Undertaker out of the ring, in fact. The Undertaker was suffering from several injuries in his hand and she needed surgery, but the Union did not want to break the character of The Undertaker and make him surrender the belt easily. While The Undertaker was recovering from the injury, Mark Henry destroyed several of young wrestlers, and then bragged about what he did to The Undertaker. To pave the way for the return of The Undertaker returned at Unforgiven 07 to defeat Mark Henry after executing a last ride from the corner. And defeated him again in the next 2 SmackDown shows after performing a choke slam. The Undertaker and Batista resumed their feud in Cyber Sunday 07 Festival when the fans chose Steve Austin as the special referee for the match. And the match ended with Batista winning and keeping the belt in his possession after executing Batista Bomb 2 times in a row on The Undertaker, bringing the result of their matches 1-2-1. The two wrestled again in a Hell in match. A Cell at Survivor Series 07, and Edge intervened in the match after returning from injury, hitting The Undertaker with the camera and the chair and pulling Batista, who was unconscious, and placing him on top of The Undertaker and pinning the referee. Batista won. As a result, The Undertaker performed a tombstone on SmackDown show manager Vickie Guerrero. The following week Vickie Guerrero was in hospital due to the Undertaker move, causing assistant show manager Thida Long to set a triple threat match for the heavyweight belt at Armageddon, in that festival's
وفي النهاية أرجو أن أكون قد أوصلت المعلومة بسهولة ويسر. لا تخرج قبل أن تشرفنا بوضع بصمتك. لا تخرج قبل أن تشرفنا بوضع بصمتك. ولكم مني جزيل الشكر والتقدير. في حفظ الله.